So back in May, Marla Mosser and I recorded a video talking about the challenges that leaders would face in a post-COVID world. You may have noticed, but here it is September and we're not post anything. Let's talk about that on this episode of Turning a New Leaf. Hello, I'm Frank Walsh, and thank you for joining me on this episode of Turning a New Leaf. In this series, we talk about important leadership topics, and my goal is to give you something to think about and to work on in just 5 minutes. So, like it or not, the crisis goes on. Chances are your business is still being disrupted by the reactions to and the realities of the COVID-19 virus. Many things that we all thought would be short-term are now part of our long-term or at least intermediate-term planning, not the least of which is a remote workforce. At first, many businesses reacted to the disruptions of the pandemic under the assumption that they would be short-term. They put technological solutions in place so that their people could continue to work, and they put off, postponed, or outright canceled many things that they assumed they'd be able to pick up again in a couple of months. Today, most of the businesses that I talk to have come to grips with the fact that we'll be living in this reality for at least the next 6 months, if not significantly longer. Many workers have settled into the routine of working remotely, and they're quite happy about it. But something is missing, something that's important to the performance of your business. A sense of being part of a team, something larger than yourself. A sense of relationships with your coworkers. We're growing more and more distant from those we work with in many ways. Younger workers may have a particularly difficult time. Coming from an environment where they were used to collaboration on a high level, they may now be working for companies where they've never met their coworkers face to face. They're lacking a sense of connection. So what can you do? Well, there are no easy solutions, but here are a few things to think about.
First of all, I recommend you over-communicate. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that no one has ever left a company because the leadership communicated too much. Communicate with your employees and your coworkers often. If you're a leader, you should have some kind of reach out on a daily basis to your team as a bare minimum. Depending on the size of your team, that might need to be a recorded message, a blog post, an email blast, or other chat message. But do it every day. If you're a higher level manager, you want to reach out to your immediate team every day. You might want to also reach out weekly to your entire organization. Again, that could be a pre-recorded message or some kind of a post that you put out. Even an email blast can work. The important thing is say something, anything that keeps people engaged and helps them understand the meaning and purpose of the work that they're doing. Second, make it social. Find channels that give your people opportunities to connect about something other than work. Social chat rooms can be a virtual water cooler that let people join in on their own schedule. Encourage casual discussion. Anything goes as long as it's inclusive, clean, and aligned with company values. I hesitate to say keep it professional. That isn't the goal here. But make sure that people aren't saying anything harassing or otherwise in violation of any company policies. Meet more, not less. Lots of meetings have been canceled in the face of COVID, and in a lot of cases, that's a good thing. But meetings are important, and giving people face time with others is also very important. Keep meetings to small groups. Could be many fewer people than you might have had in past meetings. Also, make sure that the topics are tightly focused. 1 or 2 topics per discussion is all you should ever try to manage. Make sure that the durations are short. Lots of meetings can be done in 15 minutes or less if you think about it. And meet at a higher frequency. Meet at least once a week on important topics that need to be kept up with. Or for more broad topics, you might want to meet at least once a month, or you might need to meet daily, depending on the demand. Give people an opportunity in these meetings to interact socially as they would have if they were in the office.
So these tips are just the tip of the iceberg, designed to help you keep your team engaged and active and connected with one another. There are many other challenges that we face as we move on in this world of the pandemic, and we'll talk about more of those on future episodes. I'll see you then.